Again. Hello, everybody. Ooh, I look awful. Let me fix that. Let me fix that. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I gotta fix that. I look awful. Holy crap. Just my lighting here. Still didn't. Hold on. Edna, what's up? Hold on. There we go. Much better. I got my notification for once. All right, Edna. I hope everybody can hear me. Lotru, what's up, bud? How you doing, dude? I'm all fuzzy today. Nice and clean. I hope everybody's having a good night. Good week so far, I should say. Good old hump day. Getting to the weekend, folks. Edna, how you doing? Lotro, hope you're having a good day. Anybody else in there watching and learning? I don't know about learning, but watching. I hope you're all having a good day, good week so far. I'll get started in a little bit. I usually let everybody come in and say hello to each other and get settled in. And yes, Edna, I am going to talk about what went down at the hospital. So I'm not going to talk about my actual situation, but I'm going to talk about the things I was seeing. Salem Pride Sirloin's just lit into one. There you go. I hope it was good. I hope it was good. Yeah, we had turkey and gravy tonight. Yeah. Hope we can talk food tonight, huh? Now I'm going to talk about my stay. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to talk too much about me physically, but I am going to talk about what went down. I know you have, because I saw some stuff. As soon as I took a picture for Gemma, it was like craziness just went. It just went. The things I was seeing was insane. It just went. I don't know why, but it was trippy. It was very trippy. Miss Vixen Doe, how are you, dear? I hope you are well. And I'll love the bacon. Everybody passing around the bacon. Now leave some for Dragon Black Dragon so he can find his way in. Maybe he'll show up. Yeah, he's a busy man. So, but yeah, I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit. I got to be off by 10:30, 11 o'clock. I have an early morning doctor follow-up appointment, so I got to go. I don't want to because it is at a hospital. I'm not too thrilled. So just go in there. And I don't mind the doctors, but so a dermatologist today, 7 years cancer-free. He froze a few rough areas. Yeah, my dad has that issue. He's had a couple he had to have removed. That's awesome. That's always good news. That is always good news. Your dad about 10 years ago, and he's got a couple now, but they said they're doing good. So, but now 2 of them they took off, so they're happy. Ellie's 91 years old. He says, I don't give a crap. I'm doing good. That's good. I am well. I am actually doing very well. I see the doctor tomorrow, and hopefully that will go good. Other than that, I feel good. A few rough moments, but that's other issues too. Mr. Roger Blair, hello. How are you, sir? I hope you are well. I hope everybody is good in your area, as I should say. How much you guys are getting snow, rain, or sleet? We got nothing. We got a little bit of snow, little bit of fuzzy rain, but it went either over us or underneath us. Actually, it went both ways this time. So it was kind of funny. I mean, we got, like I said, it's wet here and damp, and that's it. Cold. Other than that, no ice. Well, not yet. We'll see in the morning. But I know you East Coasters are getting ready to get it. And you guys may not get it as bad as you think this time. But I think the weekend is going to be a whole different story. I got Vegeta watching over my shoulder. They tried me nuts. Well, she's been on Facebook. It sounds like she's hurting a little bit and coping. So bless her heart and send out prayers. Tomorrow's supposed to be a mix. Yeah, that's what I expect you guys to get. You'll probably get in the morning. Well, hello, Nicole. Welcome. Long time no see, dear. I hope you are well. Just me tonight, just so you know. But I'm glad to see you. I hope you are well. I hope you're having a good week so far. Gemma will be here Friday. That was my next topic. We got 4 to 5 inches of snow, freezing rain tonight. There you go. And now you're having fun. Good. I'm glad you're good. I'm making it. We got snow the other night, but it turned into rain, and that's what it snowed here a little bit this morning, and that was it. Thank you, Latro. Yes. But back to what I'll answer that question here in a minute. I have a funny feeling I have some issues, but I think the infection is pretty much gone, and I feel good. My heart's. I saw the other doctor the other day. My heart's pounding good. Everybody's going, hell yeah, you go, buddy. And then they go, I don't know how you do it, but you go. So like kind of, I guess like my dad, just keeps on ticking. Anyways, so yeah, I'm hoping it goes smooth tomorrow. So thank you, sir. I'm glad things went well for you. Yeah, this weather, that's the thing's kind of hurting me and Dad both. Is it's just so damp and cold outside here that we're both walking around. I feel like him walking around just a little stiff. He's hurting now for sure. I'm making it. We got snow. I'm trying to catch up. Yeah, so thank you, Latro. Yeah, it should be good. It's a crazy weather. It just sucks. I think from probably Kansas and that line there over east, anything's possible. Supposed to be a really big storm tonight and tomorrow. I don't know where you're at, so it goes around us. I live in Central Ohio, so we literally today got nothing. We might get a little bit tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to be much if we get anything at all. Maybe a little freezing rain in the morning, but next weekend's supposed to really get cold too, so we'll see. Oh, you're in Quebec? Oh yeah, you guys. No, you guys are probably getting a little bit of everything. Oh yeah, you're definitely, if you're in Quebec, yeah, you guys are going to get slammed. Well, I wouldn't say slammed, but you're getting a good one. But yeah, I think, and then we're going to have storms down south. So folks down south, you be careful down there. There's some, I guess, rolling through tonight. I guess a few of the weather guys I watched was live. So, they're live. Something's going on. So be safe. Be prepared. Always need to be prepared. Anything's possible. Oh, excuse me, dead air. Sorry about that. Catching my breath. Thought I was gonna. I didn't want to belch on you guys. That would be rude, unprofessional like. But yeah, anything got anybody good? No. Remember, tomorrow night's free night. Oh, thank God I needed it. And then Friday night Gemma. I got a rest for Friday. Yes, we will be here Valentine's night, I believe. As far as I know, we will be here Friday night. I meant to ask her and I forgot, but knowing Gemma will be here. I will be here Saturday night for Gemma's replay. Folks, I also want to do this. Hold on one second. I'm going to try not to leave any dead air, but just in case. Yeah, it's been real decent. I mean, it's been cold, but we really haven't done anything. Latro, yeah, it's been pretty casual. Cincinnati and Cleveland probably got more than we have. Way more. 1 second here. We got to find it first. It's probably clear at the bottom. I don't know if you folks know. If you haven't got them followed, please follow Wayne and Michelle. Michigan UFO sightings and paranormal encounters. Hold on, I'm trying to. Gemma's going to be back on there again. Oh, get rid of this. Let me make myself the other way around. She's going to be on the 23rd. That's Sunday and 2 Sundays. Yeah, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. So make sure you go check them out. Maina and Michelle, good old. That's one of her favorite places to hang out. So make sure you write it down in the calendar or hit that notification button. Hopefully you get the notification. So there you go. About 2 feet, so they have had groceries delivered. Oh, wow, that's cool. At least you got that going. For delivery guys, though, they'll be closed. Yeah, probably. They call for 2 inches with whole town shutdowns. I walked to school. Oh, man, yes. That always cracked me up. We had school no matter what. But see, the thing is, I live next to a cemetery that takes care of other places, plus they keep the city of Worthington trucks down there. So our streets are like one of the first ones clean. So more rare, but big ones. Yeah. Well, the Earth's changing. Some of it's our fault. Some of it's just Mother Nature doing her thing. So that's the way it is. Earth is changing. We changed. It's all connected. Ask Edna. She'll tell you. Folks today are sissy pants. Yeah, they are. I'd still go out sledding. I've been waiting for a good snow to go out sledding. The last snow we got just didn't last long enough, and I got sick. So I wanted to go sledding. I still want to go sledding. I don't think we'll see anything this weekend. They say we might see a little more heavy rain, freezing rain, but I keep looking at the line and it keeps staying way north, and the other half of the storm, the bad storm, we might get a lot of rain. That we might get it. And nothing worse than cold rain. Now, if you're going to talk about winter, one thing I hate about winter here in Ohio is the cold rain. I love snow. I don't mind the ice as long as I'm prepared for it. But the cold rain, oof. Yeah, that poor Gemma, man, her school district, man, they literally even say ice and they immediately shut down early or shut down, early pickup or late pickup. I meant early pickup, late pickup. They do, you know what I'm saying. I'm talking too fast. Yeah, see, and see, the thing is, I think they called a delayed morning one time last week or something, and then it didn't do anything at all. And she was so pissed. I would have been pissed. Oh, just send the buses out. Be right back. Okay, I guess you're allowed. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it should be. I think everybody will see something. I just don't know what. And the storm we're getting now, like I said, it's all been around us. We might get the tail end of it tomorrow morning. And then we get a little bit of a break. And then everything starts moving back in late tomorrow night. And into Friday and Saturday. Probably more Friday and Saturday. And then you guys, anybody out on the East Coast will get it Saturday night and Sunday. Looks like the northern eastern part of the states up there will probably get it the worst. But it still doesn't look like anything big. Now, the last one, the weekend one, looks like it might be pretty juicy. When everybody gets back and ready to go, I'll start talking about the hospital. What I was seeing. That was freaking crazy. So when you come back, Edna, if you can hear me, I'll start. But anybody have anything big going on this weekend other than seeing us Friday night? Well, I hope you guys have Valentine's plans. I mean, I can't say, hey, but I hope we see you Friday night. Me and the ex used to go and get the whole week back. You're finally back. Man, you were gone forever, Edna. How slow are you, woman? Man, we sat here for like hours, right, guys? It's been hours. I almost said goodnight. Anyways, I'm trying to be funny by myself. It's hard. I'm eating one of Vixen's maple drops, hard candies. Those things are so good. It's like Lily just keeping syrup in her mouth. You bought your Valentine. Good luck to those with good relations. Yeah, I'm happy for people who have good relations. I mean, we're not all perfect, so I bought myself a Valentine. To me, from me, love me. Hey, nothing wrong with that. I have no problem with that. I'm just a lonely old man in the corner, or should I say, just a dragon down in the dungeon. I am perfectly content. I bought myself plants. Hey, nothing wrong with that either. Yeah, I sent everybody cookies. So some people will be getting cookies. Plants. What kind of plants? That should have been the next question. Edna's thinking it because that's why she's laughing. Valentine's Day is a couple's holiday, not much for a single folk. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Vixen. We can still give ourselves Valentine's. Enjoy the day. There's chocolate. You bought chocolate plants? Cocoa plants? You'd be flabbergasted to see some out of league past girlfriends. There is a God. Haha. I can't complain with the women I've had in my life, which hasn't been many. Dated a little bit. I dated one girl in high school, and I dated one girl from work. Both lasted about 2 weeks. I mean, we stayed friends. I was always working. So when my ex came around, she actually lived during the day I was working as a groundskeeper, maintenance man. And her apartment was above our maintenance shop. Let's put it that way. So, and that's an interesting story in itself. But yeah, we used to go camping. I'll go out for the weekend. One of the grandparents, or usually her mom would watch him, or one of her sisters, or her older sister. We'd switch every so often, switch kids so they could, not switch kids, but take each other's kids so we could have weekends. But yeah, everybody here accounted for it. Let's do this. I'm kind of anxious to tell it because like I said, I want to be off at least around 11 because I got to get up and go to this appointment. Hopefully, it's my clear and go. I think it will be. So, anyways, I got ill, as you guys know. I won't go into too much details. I just blew up like a balloon because it turned out that I had a respiratory virus. Me and Dad did. He got a sore throat. I got an infection, and it spread pretty fast. I mean, really fast. Anyways, I get to the hospital. Finally, Tuesday, decided I better go to the hospital. But Dad can't drive. Giles was at work. So I just called the paramedics because I knew Giles would be home sooner, and I had a funny feeling they'd keep me anyways. So they got me there. I started having some issues because the chain reaction thing, it started messing with my Tourette's. So I started kind of hyperventilating and having tremors. So they put a mask on me and was not ventilating, but they had a mask on me and all this stuff. And I was in jammies when they came and got me. So they left me in my coat, put me on the bed in the room. And it was hilarious, actually. I take a picture to let Gemma know that I was at the hospital. And right after I took the picture, we don't know if it was a seizure or if it was something else. But anyways, I don't remember much for about, I'd say almost half hour. And I come to, I'm still in the ER. And there's this black figure standing at the foot of my bed, just looking at me. And, well, just standing at the foot of my bed. I don't know if it was looking at me or just standing. It was solid black. And finally, a nurse walks in and it's gone. I'm like, oh, shit, it's not, no. I thought I was having, be honest, I thought maybe they'd give me, because we haven't, I go, you guys give me something? She goes, we haven't given you anything yet. We're just happy you're okay. We just gave you something to, stop the tremors. I said, okay. So I'm sitting there, and she put around, they take some more blood, and she leaves the room. So I'll be back to let you know what they're going to do. Or the doctor will be in here. I said, okay. So she leaves the room, and I'm trying to regain my senses, and because it was really weird. Like I said, I was missing like a half hour. So I'm laying there, and they're getting there, and another nurse comes in, asks if I need anything, or saying that, and she goes, well, they're gonna probably keep you. So if you got anything with you, just make sure it's in the bed with you, so you take it up with you. And I said, well, I got everything on. She left. Or as soon as she leaves, she shuts the door, and the paper dispenser, the towel dispenser on the wall, all of a sudden just starts dropping towels. Just starts dropping towels. I'm watching it, and somebody must have seen it in the hallway, because all of a sudden this guy walks in, probably like a cleaning person. I don't know what they were doing, but somebody opens the door and, what the heck's going on in here? And he picks them all up, and he goes, oh, you couldn't get out of the bed to get them anyways. And I said, who was doing that? And I said, He kind of looks at me funny, picks up all the papers, puts them on his cart, and wheels away. He leaves the door open, and it gets real quiet. I mean, the hospital, like, it must be me. It must have been me, because for about 3-4 seconds, it was short, but it was like all of a sudden everything got real quiet. Then everything got real loud. And next thing I know, standing, I'm in a room, and part of the room on the ER, and I'm actually in a room. And then in the middle section, it's got the curtains and stuff. And I'm literally looking down a row of curtains. And all of a sudden, I see this little black thing. Yeah, I couldn't tell what it was, because it was very end, walk from one side to the other. And I'm like, oh no, this is not going to, I knew right then and there it wasn't going to be a good stay. And I'm just laying there, I'm trying not to watch. So the nurse comes back, they tell me they're going to keep me. Doctor will be in a little bit. And I said, okay. And she goes, you okay? And I go, yeah, you guys are keeping me. It's going to be a long stay. And she goes, what's up? And I said, don't worry about it. So she leaves. And a little bit later comes back. And they're taking me up to my room. And lo and behold, my little black-eyed kid, we get off the elevator. We come out, and there's a hallway this way and a hallway this way. And then there's a little jog and then a hallway. The nurse's station. We come out of the elevator, and I look down one way. And I look down the other way, and there he is. There's a window at the very end of the hallway. He's standing in front of the window. And he's got his back turned to me. And then he turns around, looks down the hall. I look right at him. And like I said, I honestly don't think he really sees me. He starts walking up and turns into a room. Guess which hallway I'm going down? That hallway. So I'm like, oh, yeah, please go. Hope my room's down at the end so I can look in the rooms. So we're going down the hallway, and I'm looking in the rooms. I'm looking in these rooms. You see me doing, like, every time we went by a room. If the door was open, I was looking. When we get by this, I think it was like the third door. And I noticed it was closed. But as we go by, I see black hair just in the window, about that much of a little head. It's just above the window. And I'm going, I wonder if that's it. They get me down there, and I'm actually like 2 doors down on the other side of the room. I'm in my room, but I can't get up. They won't let me get up. So I was actually going nuts, wondering. I wanted to go out and stand and watch him come out of the room. Night went fairly quiet until about 3 a.m. Everybody on my floor, I know they heard it. All of a sudden, we heard screaming, and I mean screaming. Everybody thought it was coming from, but I swear that screaming was coming from that floor. You should have seen the nurses running around trying to figure out where the screaming was coming from. Because the one nurse runs by and goes, well, the nurse button's not going off. So where's it coming from? And they're running. They're running. And this screaming was like bloody murder, horrible, just nightmare screams. And it lasted about an hour. And it was like she would scream and it'd be horrifying. And then it'd stop. And they would freeze. They would literally freeze. And then it would start back up again. And it did that like for a half hour. And you should have seen them. They were calling. Yeah, I could hear the nurses because the nurse stations were, they're pretty loud. So I can hear them calling and screaming and yelling, trying to figure out. You see security go running down the hallway. They're looking in rooms, talking to people. Did you scream? It was creepy. But I told the one nurse that came from this floor. And she goes, well, there was a lot of wild. She said some wild stuff went on the other night. But nobody knows what happened. All we know is one victim. She said victim, so she knew. Had passed in a room down the hall. And I'm like, oh, interesting. I wonder what room that was. I didn't ask her, but I'm betting it's the room where the black kid was. And that soul was still there. But something happened because she kept referring to them as victims. But it was creepy. I've heard creepy screaming before, but that was just horrifying. I mean, and it was a woman. It was a woman, and it sounded like an older woman, but it gave me chills. Well, and that was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And finally, I get myself to calm down, and I go to sleep. Wake up to breakfast, no big deal. They take me down to do some tests. Maybe someone saw the black-eyed kid, maybe multiple people. I'm wondering, I don't know, but somebody definitely on that floor, I don't care what they say. They were trying to say it was the ER, but dude, we were 3 floors up. There's no way you could hear that 3 floors. Well, you might if she was like near an entrance, because I was pretty close to. I don't know. But the hospitals are pretty quiet at night, so maybe it might have echoed. I mean, I'd have to go in there and actually go in the ER and start screaming like that and see if anybody could hear it. Because it was like 3 a.m. in the morning. As for the black-eyed kid, sometimes I wonder about that, Edna, because let me go on. Let me further this 3-day stay. Most of Thursday, I went in. No, most of Wednesday was pretty quiet. I went and did tests. It was really wild because not much went on. Usually I see stuff in the hallway anyways. And back and forth in tests, nothing. Which made me nice because it calmed me down. Because the black figure at the end of my bed really kind of messed with me because I couldn't tell if I was still kind of so I couldn't tell if he was cloaked, but he was definitely there. Well, we get back in time for me to have lunch before my next round of tests. Because they wanted to check my heart and do a stress test and this and that, which was fine because I'm good with that. Double check. I don't want to leave there and then something bad happen. You know, I tell you, I do take a lot better care than people think. By the time you're in the ER, you're knocked out. Maybe someone, It was weird. Anyways, we get in. I get back to my room and I ordered me lunch, which I was surprised they had it to me in like a half hour. But the place I stayed at, man, their food is good anyway. So, actually, good hospital food. I eat my lunch. I'm chilling out, waiting for them to come get me for the next test because I was allowed to eat. So they come up, get me for the test. We're going down the hallway. And I swear I see that black-eyed kid again. This time he's standing just past the nursing station on the test floor. You go by like a little section where it's open. One side's like a nursing station, and then the other side's the case for walk-ins and stuff. They go and check in and stuff. Anyways, he's standing just like beyond, like they couldn't see him, but he was standing right there. I know it was him. They reel me by. I go in, do my test. I'm like, I'm watching. She goes, Steve, you got to lay still. Okay. So I lay still. We come back to my room. Nothing happens. We leave. They back me up and we leave. I don't see him again. We go back to my room, and I'll be damned. I think it was a ghost, but I'm not sure, because the first thing that came in my mind was the white-eyed girl that I saw. This little girl comes dancing right by my door. And this is like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock p.m. I was waiting for dinner. It comes dancing. I see her, just a glimpse. She's just wearing a little dress, nothing fancy. She looked like she had brunette hair, and she probably sounded like she was 4 or 5 years old, maybe 5, 6 years old. And I seen her just plain as day go dancing by my door. My eyes got like huge. I know they did, because I could feel it, because the guy next to me, because I had a person in the room with me too, and when I was in the room, so I wasn't alone. And the guy goes, "Did you see that?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Did we just see a ghost, or was there some kid out there?" And I go, "I can't get up. They won't let me get up." So he gets up and looks and says, "There's no girl out there." So I did have a witness on that one. Well, we're sitting there, we're talking, and then we get to talking, because we talk. We were talking, but not a lot. But he was getting ready to leave. So it was kind of good timing anyways, because he was up in Mobile. Well, he leaves, and I have the room by myself for like 3-4 hours. Before it was like 9 or 10 o'clock, they wheeled somebody else in. But I doze off. Well, I'm calling everybody, letting everybody know my phone died. It was weird. I wasn't talking to a whole lot of people, so I had to wait for a charger. So the nurse was nice enough to charge my phone and all this crazy stuff. Well, I'm laying in there, and I must have dozed off. All of a sudden, I hear coughing. And I'm like, what? Who's coughing? I didn't hear anybody come in, because I'm a light sleeper, and I rock. So it don't take much. And nurses said that they couldn't believe how much I rocked in my sleep. They were like, holy crap, dude. Anyways, yeah, they don't. Well, I was up in the yellow section, so it's not ICU. It might have been. But it was called the yellow section. That's what they just kept. Well, you're in yellow. Which I figured that's. Last time yellow meant like you were there just for observation. So you could end up being there for a while, or you could end up going home. Observation. That's why they wouldn't let me have a private room. But anyways, I'm laying there and I hear this coughing. I sit up in bed and the curtain's drawn. There's nobody sitting next. There's nobody there yet. I'm like, what? As soon as I sat up, it stopped. And I'm like, okay. So I kind of turned on the TV, which I never watch hospital TV. But I ended up turning the TV on. Or as soon as I turned the TV on, it started up again. This time it sounded like it was coming from the bathroom, which I know it's not in the bathroom, because I am literally a foot away from the bathroom door and it was open, but it came from the bathroom. I'm like, Jesus, please not stop. I just said stop. Please just stop. And it gets quiet. Finally, nurse comes in. We get ready for me to go do night and all this crap. I had dinner and everything. That Wednesday night, I swear, I was seeing everything that passed through the hallway. I was laying, and usually a lot of times where they sent me, I can't see out the door. But for some reason, they had me in tilted, and I could literally see out the door. And it wasn't just the door, seeing out the door. It was there was a reflection on the wall, because it's like it looked like one of your refrigerator doors on one of the sliding doors. So it was shiny. The reflections on that thing were freaking me out at points. Like Some of them you'd see like somebody standing there and all of a sudden they were gone. Or you'd see a nurse walk by and you could tell it was a nurse because I would eventually see them through that little way I could see them. Because when I saw the little girl, I was actually pulled away from the wall. So I actually could just lean forward and look out the door. They didn't have me pushed all the way against the door because they were getting, I was being moved around and nobody come in. They wanted to do something behind my bed too. Anyways, it's a long story. Anyways, I'm trying to make these kind of quick. I was just trying to give you an idea of what I was seeing. Well, at one point, I'm sitting there and I couldn't sleep because every time I slept, I knew I was rocking hard because I felt like I was moving the bed. And that might have been why the bed was scooted that way. And they lock the wheels too, so that shows you how hard I rock. I'm laying there and I look up and I swear there is an old man leaning in my door looking at me. It looked like an old man because it was kind of faded. Just looking at me. Just looking at me. Yeah, I know. Take your time. And I get excited because I don't talk about this a lot with people. I haven't even talked to Gemma about this. I let her do all the talking. Anyways, bless her heart. Anyways, he's just leaning in there looking at me. I go, hello. At first, I thought it was a real person. He just kept looking and looking. He kind of lifts up a little bit, looks again, kind of shakes his head, and leaves. I'm like, no, I got out of bed for that. So I get up out of bed, and I go to the door, and there's no home man. Oh, man, because he left slow. I could tell when he lifted up, he wasn't going to move fast. I literally got out of that bed, grabbed all my stuff, look around the corner, there's no old man. So either he was looking for somebody, which would be my guess. Either he's laying somewhere in that hospital or he hasn't left yet, but he's looking for somebody because he definitely was not here. Are they out to get you? No. I'll if you want me to talk about the black-eyed kids, hold on, because I'm not done with them yet either. Well, while I'm standing there, I figure I'll stand here a while until one of the nurses tell me to go back to bed because I did not want to lay down anymore. I was up, so I went back, went back to I actually just went and stood and leaned in the doorway and just kind of watched the nurses down the hall moving from one room to the next, doing their checks. I can hear them down there talking on the phone and joking with each other. And one nurse walked by and goes, "You okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I had to stand up." "You're Mr. Davis, right?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "I wouldn't stand out here too long." And I go, "Why?" And she goes, "I know about you. One of the other nurses was telling me that you were complaining about a black figure when you came in the ER." I go, "I didn't say anything to anybody." She goes, "Yeah, you did." Because "You don't remember that?" And I said, "No." And she goes, "You said there was a black figure standing at the end of your bed, and you asked them if they were cloaked." And the nurse said no. She said, "Jamie said no. What are you looking at, Mr. Davis?" And she said, "You didn't say anything after that." So she leaves, and we talked for a little bit, but it was just about Gemma's channel. I always promote it. And so I did say something to somebody. I told you, there was some time there. I wasn't all together. Anyways, I'm standing there, and the nurse goes down there. I can hear him down. "Mr. Davis, don't freak out. Mr. Davis is down there standing in his doorway. You need to stand." I am, "Oh, okay. Hi, Mr. Davis." "Hello." "Okay, be quiet now. It's 3 a.m. in the morning." Actually, it was like 2. And I'm leaning, watching, just listening to the silence. I could hear TVs. You know how you hear TVs. Next thing I know, that black-eyed kid showed up again. Clear down at the other end of the hall. And he stood there for a while, looking at a door. It had been it was just at the end of the hallway. And he looked in the door, and he turned around and started walking toward us. He looked at another door, all on one side. Went to another door, looked. Stood there for a minute, stood up, and walked in that room. And I go, "Nurse." And one of them peeked their head around the corner and go, "Somebody just walked in that room down there." I would guess about the third room coming this way. on, I was looking down, so it would be on this side, which would be your right hand side, going back that way. She goes, she went down there. She goes, there's nobody in that room. In fact, the old man in that room has been out of it for 2 days. He's in a coma. I'm like, why is he in ICU? And she goes, they don't have no room for him down there. He's doing good. They just don't know what the deal is with him yet. But I go, how old is he? And she goes, oh, he's like 82. He's real strong, old ghost. He's been in here before. So they're just kind of monitoring him. He has no family, so we all know him up here. So they just brought him up here where he'd be comfortable. You do? Is nobody in that room? No. What did you see, Mr. Davis? I swear I saw somebody walk in that room. She goes, oh, Mr. Davis, that's not. Everybody sees people walking around here all the time. And she walks away from me. And it's always the same one. I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't know if I can say that for a fact, because I've literally gone to a doctor's office, been sent to the hospital to do a test, then see him at that hospital, and then see him at that doctor's office, then see him at the hospital. I literally one time, they had to transfer me at one time from one hospital to the other. And I had an accident and in one of the fights, and I had broken a couple ribs, and they were like super busy in the ER, so they just took me out of that ER and sent me to another ER. Anyways, I literally saw him in the ER, and then I saw him in the ER again. So maybe these particular ones, or that's just how I say, I don't know, but they always look like the same kid. Always. Same look, I couldn't say it's the same kid because, he's pale. He's the same. They always seem the same size. Even the little ones that I saw with him a couple times. The two little ones that I thought were maybe 5, 6, maybe 7 years old. They were both the same height. They were both same type of build. Just one had. What's weird is everybody freaks out when I tell them, "You see black-eyed kids?" I go, "Yeah," but they're wearing bib overalls with red and white striped shirts. They're white as a ghost. Solid blackness, black hair. They move methodically, and then they can just all of a sudden they're gone. And I've seen them for some time now, for a very long time, in the hospitals. Now I'm seeing them in doctor's office. Saw them in a nursing home. So, but yeah, and then I get up Thursday morning and I get told I can go home. Well, I didn't get told. I told them, look, if I have to stay here longer, you need to tell me now. Because if I can go home, I'd like to get the hell out of this place. And the nurse that was still there from that night goes, yeah, he doesn't do very good in the hospital. It's pretty obvious. And the doctor looked at the nurse and goes, don't worry about it. And I think that I freak the people out that stay. And when I'm in a room with somebody, because imagine somebody rocking in their sleep. But anyways, they say, okay, you can leave. So they bring me up a real nice breakfast. I didn't even order it. They just brought me up a real nice waffles and everything. So I ate real good. They came in, took some more blood. Doctor came in, gave me the lowdown. Cool. He goes, you can go ahead and clean up, do whatever you want. I have nothing else. I have my coat and my jammies and my slippers. He goes, okay. Well, we'll get a hold of your ride and let them know and come get you. So, okay, I called Giles to make sure that he knows that somebody's got to come and get me. And he goes, yeah, they called. Anyways, I'm sitting there waiting. And this nurse comes in, goes, I want to make sure you got everything. They'll be in to do your paperwork in a little bit. She's on the night nurse. I think it was Miss Kelly. Miss K or something like that. They call her Miss K or something like that. Anyways, really nice black lady. Guys, she was so sweet. Because, so while you're here, I'm going to protect you and make sure you get out that front door safely. I started laughing. And she goes, there's something about you, boy. They've been talking about you all night at They said that they were talking about you all night over there at the nursing station and all day. And I said, oh, yeah. She goes, I guess you're kind of a character. I go, I'm interesting guy, I guess. And we get to talking. She leaves. They come back. We do the paperwork. And that's when it starts. They leave. She said, well, as soon as he lets us know he's come on his way, we'll take you down. I said, okay. So I'm sitting in a room. I'm sitting on the edge of the bed looking out the door. In the room across me, there was nobody there. The curtain in between the two beds was open. Nobody was in those beds. And on the other side of the far bed, because the curtains were pulled down still. They hadn't gone in and cleaned up the room yet. There he stood, that damn black cloaked figure. And I'm like, no. So I stood up and kind of walked toward my door. And it just kind of like, it like backed up into the shadows. And it was gone. I was like, I got to know what you are. So I sit back down and I keep watching that spot. Do it again. Do it again. I'm literally saying in my head, do it again. Do it again. I want to see you. Like ghosts had bad floaters. Yeah. Nothing happens. So I start getting antsy. I start pantsing around. Finally, nurse comes and says, we'll be over here to get you in a minute. I got to get a wheelchair. Miss K comes and says, I'm going to come and get you. I'm going to take you down. He's on his way. It's okay. So I'm standing there pacing, and I look down the hallway. And there's a gray cloaked shadow figure standing right in front of the nurse's station. I mean, he was standing plain as day right in front of that nurse's station. And he's looking directly at me. Well, he's looking my direction. And this one's gray. There was a difference between the black ones and the gray because there was definite color difference. And he just stood there. And I tilted my head, and he didn't tilt his head. Neither did the one in the room. He didn't tilt his head. I was tilting my head to see if they tilt my head. They didn't tilt their heads. They just kept. And I'm like, no. Now I was ready to go by that time. So all of a sudden, she comes trucking down. And she literally, when she came around that corner with that wheelchair, she was trucking. And I'm looking at this thing. As soon as she turned that corner, he was gone. But he was standing right in front of the nurse's station. She comes. I get in the wheelchair and I go, let's go. And she stops and looks at me and goes, what's the matter, Mr. Davis? Are you okay? So yeah, I'm fine. Let's just get me going. So she goes, you sure you're okay? I said, I'm fine. She goes, hold on, I know what you need. So she leaves me sitting in the middle of the hallway and runs off around the corner again. And as soon as I looked up, there he was again, standing right there. I'm like, huh? I said, nurse, what you got? What are you doing? And she goes back and hands me a cup of coffee. But as soon as she came around that corner, he was gone. And the thing was, what bothers me was there were two nurses sitting at that nurse's station the whole damn time. But every time she came around that corner, he disappeared. I'm like, what? So I'm like kind of starting to get a little antsy because this is not cool. And so she gets me, starts walking me down the hall. We go to get on the elevator, and I look down the hall, and standing in front of the nursing station was the gray cloaked figure and the black-eyed kid standing right beside each other. Black-eyed kid was facing the other way, and I could tell. I don't know how I know when they're looking at you. I guess you just feel it. And the gray cloaked figure was looking at me. I know he was looking at me. I know it. He didn't tilt his head or anything, but that's what it felt like. The kid was facing one way, and he was facing toward me. That's exactly how it felt. Well, it was obvious with the kid. And she wheels me back and backs me up into the elevator. And I'm like, and she's like, you're white as a ghost, Mr. Davis. Are you sure I don't need to take you back to your room? And then she paused and looked at me real quick. And this is what freaked me out. She goes, "Don't worry, Mr. Davis. I'll get you down to your son safely, okay? Just relax. It'll be okay." It's okay. Okay. I just kind of smiled at her. She goes, I'm here to protect you. Don't worry about it. I said, okay. That elevator door's out. We roll out. You go out of the elevator, go through a little hallway, make a left, and then there's the lobby. Come out, we make the left. Standing, there's like windows in the lobby, and then you go over, and then there's the doors and everything. Standing on the clearly opposite side of that room was this time the black cloaked figure and the little boy. Now here's what's weird is they're both looking out the window. Just standing there looking out the window. I'm pretty sure that I know the boy was looking out the window, but I'm pretty sure that thing was looking at, and it was the black one. Because it was really weird. There's like a pole, the frames, and they were standing next to one of the frames. He almost kind of blended in with the blackness. It was really creepy. So I'm like, oh, weird. And I'm kind of, I'm not freaking out, but I'm kind of like, what the hell's going on? Why am I seeing all this? I get out, we get outside, and she sees my son. She starts wheeling me to his car. And I look back to see if they're still standing at the window. This time they're both just, how can I put it? The boy was looking forward, but the black cloak figure was facing me. This time he tilted his head and he was gone. And I said, Giles, get me in the car now. He goes, you sure you're okay, Dad? You don't want to stay? I go, no, just get me in the car. So we get in the car. I shut the door. Little lady reaches in my window and goes, you be okay, Mr. K. He'll get you home safely. I'm watching. I said, okay. She stood there. She took the wheelchair, put it in front of her, and literally put her back to my door until he drove away. We're driving out. You go out of the little circle. You stop. You go down the road. You make a left. You go down to go to the light. You stop, and then you make a right to go to the light. As soon as we stopped at that stop sign, I immediately started looking, checking the back seats over and looking around the car. Giles looks at me and goes, Dad, you're freaking out. What's going on? I said, dude, you would not understand. I tried to tell you before, but you would not understand. So just get me home now. We get home, not far a drive. We get home. We pull in the driveway. I haven't seen anything. I see stuff in the cemetery, but nothing, But guess what's standing in? When you come down my street, we are 3 houses away, fairly close. Then there's the entrance to the cemetery. It's not really the entrance. The official entrance is off of the main street, and they call it Cemetery Drive. But it's where all the trucks and stuff come through. It's just basically a big chain link fence with a big hole with a driveway. Lo and behold, standing in that, in between the posts, was a black figure. And I couldn't tell if it was drug cloaked or not, but it was standing there. And we pulled, I saw him as soon as his headlights hit him. And Giles goes, that's kind of a freaky shadow. And I go, you see that? And he goes, yeah, it's standing right there. I think it's just the tree where my light's reflecting off the pole or something. And I said, okay, whatever. So we pull in the driveway. As soon as I opened my door, it was gone. And I'm like, all night, my first night home, no joke, I paced this house. I resalted this house. I blessed this house. Then I went outside the next morning before everybody got out. My neighbor must have thought I was nuts. Lining the whole fence line. And before I cut everything off, I told whatever, if anything was in this property line, you need to leave now, or I'm going to make your time here a living hell when I close it. I closed it, and we haven't had a problem since. I haven't seen anything since. I went to the doctors a couple times now. I haven't seen anything. Now, tomorrow, my appointment is with one of the main doctors that saw me at the hospital. He's my good go-kart. He was really impressed with me. Because, dude, he said that infection was bad. He said I literally swole up. Anyways, all because of a stupid virus. Anyways, I have to go to another hospital. And this is an actual hospital. So I'm a little nervous, but I'm also very interested what I'm going to see because I got to be there early. And it's amazing the stuff that I see during the day as it is in the hospital. Everybody thinks you see the stuff at night. No, you see it all day long, every day. So, but it was weird. But that end had, and I'm still real. My dad. I thought I had a weird experience, and it really messed with me. And you should see me now. Every time I go out, I am really paying attention. That night, I was just, and then the next couple nights, I was on edge. I don't know if you guys could see it when I showed up for Gemma, but I was a little like keeping an eye on things. Just, but now I've calmed down. There were some other things that went on in that hospital too, but that's what I call the spooks and ghosts. When we were in the testing room, when they went and took me to do monitor, they did an MRI, and while we were doing that MRI, there's this little old lady that stood in the corner the whole time. She didn't say nothing, so I knew she was a ghost, and I could see her. She almost, when I first saw her, she looked real, like she was just waiting her turn. But she was standing there, and nobody addressed her. Nobody ever said anything, especially when I went in, because I said hi to her, and she just kind of nodded her head. I thought, and then I realized it was always nodding. And then we went into one part of the hospital, cutting through, and we were cutting through. I saw a little kid running back and forth from empty rooms, just running. And I know it was a little kid. It was a little shadow. It looked like he had shorts on. It was a little boy. And he looked lost. And see, I couldn't help. I said, I've tried to help these things. I need, you need like Gemma or somebody to move these things on. But I would see stuff like that the whole time I was there. But what still bothers me is the little girl dancing by the room. When he went out and didn't see her, I'm glad he saw her, because that white-eyed girl told me if I ever saw her again, there would be a problem. So I hope I don't ever see that chick again. I'm lost on your chat because I got to talking, so I couldn't read all your chats. So I have to go back now and look. Hey, Cliff Clark, how you doing? Life with Bobby. I saw you sneak in. Sorry, I was talking. Now let me catch up here. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up here. Just give me a minute. Maybe you have to. Nah, you're saying I'm rude. Nah. I've seen shadows running across the road. Yeah, you see that stuff. And it's always hard. Hey, how you doing? I didn't see you sneak in there, Cliff. How you doing? How you doing, Life with Bobby? Yeah, I see the shadows. It's when you see those things out of the corner eyes in front of you. That's when things get weird. Or you see the things that are literally attached to people. See, that's usually what I see. But it's like an open game at hospitals, funeral homes, nursing homes. That's like me being in Gemma's world there, to be honest. But usually outside of those places, it's what I see is usually every so often I'll see something freaky off the wall. But it's usually what follows people, what it has attached itself to someone, or what has someone allowed something to attach itself to. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Note to self: never go into medical facility with Steven. I actually had somebody actually say that. I've actually had people say that. It's funny because a while back, one of the kids got hurt when I was still married. And we had to take him to the emergency room to get stitches. And we're standing, and I'm watching this black-eyed kid, right? My ex is standing there. Ashley is sitting there. Sammy's sitting there. Giles is sitting there, and I'm watching this black-eyed kid cross the hall, standing in front of somebody's bed. You know how hard it was to say, hey guys, do you see that kid right there? I kept my mouth shut. I'd be cool about it. I never said anything. But it'd be like that. Where I would be out, one of the kids would have a ball game. And one of the parents would come in and I'd see an attachment on them. And I'd just look at Tina. And I want to say something to her so bad. You should see this thing that's attached to that guy right there. But I don't say nothing at all. I wasn't sure how she would react. Risky, not risky. Wispy. Yeah, the gray one is more of a wispy. Would you say that? It's more of a like it's like a thick mist. It's almost like solid, but not. I don't know. The wispy's a good word for it. Now the black cloak figure, if it's cloaked, it's so dark it's hard to tell, but I can tell when it's looking and when it's not looking. Now that thing, that's almost like a black mass. It's like some of the things I see follow people, but there's some kind of aura about it that makes me feel, I don't know, like this is something totally different. Like it's moving, yeah, it kind of, yeah, that's how the gray ones look to me too. They're like, it was like if you took a hologram and put it on moving mist, right? Is that how you would, like somebody projecting something on mist? I don't know. But I know what you're saying. I think most people do. See, I didn't get no vibe from it either. And even the one in that day, neither one of them. And the kid, I don't get a vibe from. I just know that the kid, the black-eyed kid, is there for a reason. I've understood that now as many times I've seen him. Now, what he does, I don't know what his particular part in this role is, or if it's just the way I'm seeing him, just like these things. One second. I don't want to cough you guys' ears. Oh, just a great way to describe it. Like the best way I can describe it. But like Edna, when they tilt your head, when you look at them, you know how you look at something, you're not like, you're kind of moving your head around because you're trying to make sure it's not your eyes, you're taking right. You know, most people, they don't stick. Well, I guess they don't. Anyways, every time I look at something, I do tend to tilt my head. I don't know, it's a reaction thing. But when it tilts its head back at you, then you know it's looking at you. And when it does it, it's filled. You get the impression, and I've gotten the impression with everyone that's ever anything that I've ever done that's happened with. It's always like they're more shocked you're seeing them than you are seeing it. It's like, wait a minute. I couldn't do it. I would look at them and yeah, I see you. See, that's the thing, Chris. But when you're sitting there with family and you don't want to freak your kids out, and you don't know how your ex is going to react, even when I was dating her, we'd go to bars and stuff. It was hard to keep my mouth shut because I had friends with me, and a couple, and like Patty would be there, and Patty would like, "You going to say something?" I go, "No," because we had a friend that had something attached to him for the longest time. I think Patty finally talked to him and told him about it, but I just couldn't tell him. I didn't want to get, I get enough grief as it is sometimes for certain things. So it was like, it just got to the point, especially when you're young and you're trying to tell people because you don't know better, hey, this is following you. And then you get picked on or you're wacko or whatever. Most of you have heard this in one form or another. So yeah. You're in such shock, you couldn't believe your eyes. I tell you what, that leaving and all that went down. But it was really weird because right after it was funny because I took that picture of me and I looked horrible. I know I didn't. But I wanted to let her know I was there and I was safe. I mean, it was like weirdness because when I came to right after that, because it felt like I was coming to. That thing was standing right in front of my bed. And I swear it was when I was laying down, I really felt like it was leaning over me. But I didn't feel like it was taking anything from me or giving me anything. It was just looking at me. And it was weird. So when I sat up and it kind of moved with me, but he was like a mass. He's not like the gray ones that are like a whisper. That's a good word for it, but yeah. And then to see them alternating with the kid, that freaked me out. Now that did freak me out a bit. And ever since this, I've been trying to piece together, what is all this connected to? I mean, apparently they're there for reasons, but the sad thing is, I was looking some things over the other day and doing a little research. I don't think it's good. I don't think the black-eyed kid is good. And I don't think these things are good that we're seeing. But they have rules. And they can't do anything about people who sees them. If they're not doing their specific thing, there's nothing they can do. But the black ones, he's the one that really makes me feel like I'm being watched for some reason. And I have a funny feeling I'm not the only one being watched. There are other people being watched either by this thing or by things like this. And I don't know why. And the other day, I swear something was watching Dad. It was freaking me out. We were out in the backyard. And every time I turned around, it looked like something was standing behind him. But it wasn't our family. It wasn't Mom or Kevin or anybody. But there was something. It was like watching him and then it disappeared. So I hope that, I'm not sure. It kind of come off good. So I don't know. I don't have answers. I'm just like most people. I'm just telling you what I see. You believe me, you believe me. If you don't, you don't. I get kind of crazy when I talk. That's the Tourette's. So when you see it, thank you for telling me to calm down, Edna, because yeah, I get the Tourette's gets kicking in because of the excitement of me wanting to talk about it. Now, let me go back to some of this recent chat. One time, my mom went to visit her grandma in the hospital because it was close to this time. When we got to the hospital, I blurted out, "He's gone," before she went in. And she came back and said he was gone. I've done that. I don't know how I knew. It just happens. And it can happen that happens to a lot of people don't expect it. Do you know how to get rid of them if you tell people? No. I don't. Gemma might. The only thing I can tell you is I'm a practicing Christian. The best thing I usually do when I'm getting to a point where I'm scared or something's got me a little worried, I just start saying the Lord's Prayer or praying to God. Everybody has their own thing. I know not everybody's a Christian, so I believe you because I've seen it. I know you've seen it, Edna. Well, they said the D would hang out in hospitals to pick up those, yeah, creepy people, but not always. That's true. I know what you're saying. And I don't care if anyone believes me or not. I know what I saw. So that's me. And I give people, and I'm always willing for open for interpretation too. Because some things that I see doesn't make sense to me. And Patricia's been my interpreter because she doesn't get it right, but we base on what we talk about as theory because we can't prove it. I mean, we can't prove it. But there is a lot more in this world, Horatio, than we can only imagine. That I will say. This world, Thomas said this to me once. God and Jesus are supernatural beings. Even though Jesus was human form of God, because he is one and the same, they're supernatural beings. And this is a supernatural world. So you have to expect the unexpected at all times. Some things may not be what they appear to be. And that's the way I kind of look at it. I kind of agree with you. Yes, it does. And you know, I've heard people with alien abductions pray and say that the aliens had left them alone. But I've also heard the opposite, where they started praying the aliens only got meaner or upset. So I just want to know what. I don't know if we'll ever know, Edna. Like I always said, some things we are not meant to know. And then the things that we are meant to know, we'll eventually know. So, and then when the time comes, we will know all. I sense things to a certain extent. I think most people do. Some are just stronger than others. Now, I don't call what happens with me a gift. And it's not a curse. It's just something that happened to me when I was young. I don't know why, but you know, it happened. I've known it. I've lived with it ever since I could remember. Why Lord gave me this, but there was a reason for it. You know, I've noticed I'm a little more talkative than I was before I met Gemma and you folks. There's a difference talking in chat than there is talking here on the screen. I opened a lot over the last few years, and it all started with Sean G from Chasing the Truth, and just carried over to Gemma, and we just became buddies over it. But I wouldn't wish this on anybody at all. But at the same time, there are times I'm still very confused, and then there are times I'm very understanding of things. I understand why. Why, I don't know, but I do. You know, everybody has their different faiths, their different outlooks, and I just try to ride along with that. But like I don't know if people noticed in Facebook, I was counting down to 0, and there was a reason for it. What that reason is, you'll see over time. So that usually happens with the grays. Yeah, that's what I've heard too, Chris. I kind of backed off the alien stuff years ago because it was like zombies to me. It just got to the point. And then when they started talking about disclosure, I was like, it's never going to happen. You will get little bits, but it's not unless they land. I literally land out in front of everybody. It ain't going to happen. Or something happens that is so dramatic, like a spaceship literally crashes in the middle of a city. But I don't know. They're pretty good about covering stuff up and making you think you're wacko. So who knows? But I don't think you can't count on the government telling you everything. They have to they'll drop little hint bombs, but I think they pretty much realize that we already have our own opinions anyways. 1 second. Sorry about that. I was talking too much. Oh, Latro's back. Yeah, Chris brought up the Greys. Do you know any? Latro, do you know any Greys? But it can possibly help others. Yes. It is a gift. Doesn't mean it doesn't seem like it, but it is. I know, but I don't like playing too much of things, even though I've probably talked about it more than I've ever had since I've been with Gemma, especially your chat. It helps. As for an alien encounter, as far as I know, unless that happened back when I was young in Colorado, there was some missing time there. But I don't know if I'd call it alien or just lost in myself. But I remember leaving and I remember coming back. That's all that matters. I didn't know that they were associated with owls until this group. Oh, you didn't, Edna? Yeah. A lot of it has to do with the movie Fourth Kind. Isn't that the name of the movie? And then there is stories that after people had been alien abducted, that they would see those big barn owls, because they have big black eyes, outside the windows. That actually is pretty common from what I've understood. I thought you would have known that. The gray aliens. I have not yet encountered the grays. I don't know they are associated with owls. Yep, just talked about that. They have been coming here for thousands of years. First Nation. Oh, yeah, that's for sure, Edna. Vixen. Forgive me, Vixen. Yes, that is very true. Actually, it wouldn't surprise me if Jinn were some kind of alien. You know, they've been around since the beginning of time. But think about that. If you believe in aliens. I don't really believe in aliens, but we've discussed that, so I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to go with you guys. Latra, what kind of animals do you live? Do you live on a farm? Do you, Latra, live on a farm? Missing time. Lived in for a decade, over a span of 4 years. Mexicans think those owls are. Oh, now the ones in Mexico, yeah, they think they're brujas, which are witches. Yeah, so you don't know what a bruja is. Yeah, I've actually heard some great stories. I'm going to have to see if I can find those. I worked with a couple Mexicans at Bonanza, and this one lady, man, she had the greatest bruja stories. And she always said there was one story she told. Well, actually, it was like one story, but both stories had owls in it, where these things were turning into owls and messing with families. Pretty creepy stuff. Now I got to find out if I still have the things from her, because I actually wrote them down right after she told me. They were pretty creepy. I wasn't into sci-fi. I was thinking more angels and demons. And keep that on the back burner. And I think a lot of people are going to be surprised about a lot of things. But I could be wrong too. So, Nicole, we have 8 cats. A fat dog. We have a fat dog too. it's sort of a farmhouse, but it's a suburbia. Fat dog. Yeah, Puppy's kind of plumpy too. Puff is more like a real heavy cloud right now, I guess. Dense fog. Sorry, I'm picking on my dog. But yeah, it was just weird because as soon as I took that picture, it was like, and after seeing that thing, and it's just the small stuff throughout the days. I mean, nothing I'd really want to talk about because it would happen in a flash. Or it was just something that I've seen there before. Like we think it's an old lady. Me and this one nurse, well, last time I was in the hospital, talked about this. We all think, because I talked to a lot of the nurses. One of my friends was actually married to one of the nurses there, one of the head nurses there. So they got to know me anyways. Now they come and go, so a lot of them, those are gone, but there are still a few left. But we were talking a while back ago. If you stand in the lobby, I haven't seen it myself, but they say if you stand in Riverside's hot lobby at 4:00, this little old lady pulling her IV is seen walking right through the middle of the crowd. She'll go right through everybody, go around the bend. She says some people see her, some people don't. That was the conclusion I got from some of the stories I heard. They would hear the story, but they never saw her. But they would hear that same day, oh, did you see the little old lady that kind of passed through everybody, the ghost? There, I guess, is pretty like regular. Apparently, what had happened was they say she's kind of trotting. And what happened was they wanted her to stay. I guess she was very sick. The story is they wanted her to stay. She was very sick, and she wasn't going to stay. Her husband was an invalid. He was good. He just couldn't move. He had, and when they brought her in, they didn't bring him with her. So she was going to go home and get him. Whereas she was heading out, when she gets to, I guess she gets to she came in on her own. I don't know the whole story, so I'm just going by what I'm told and what I've gathered over the years. She gets to where she goes outside, and that's where she had her heart attack, and she dies. And it was like, boom, from what I understood. I don't know the whole story. I'm just going by bits and pieces of what I've been told. I've been trying to piece this thing together for years. I always ask him, but every time I go in. Witchcraft is a healing and knowing your plants and roots. Yeah. I wasn't trying to offend anybody, that's all. I was just saying in brew hall, that's kind of what they are. But most of them are really bad. None of them are any good from what I heard. The brew halls are the bad ones. With the pants and now we'll talk about the chief. Left behind a person passes on, usually seen in a pet mouth or night. Cool. We are engineered from planet indigenous DNA. Any place that has an emergency, energy coming in and energy going out daily would. Oh yeah, no doubt. Oh yeah, for sure, Chris. I know that. I think most people would agree with that. Yeah. That's like funeral homes. You don't think, but there's a lot of energy comes and goes out of that place too. So yeah, you're totally right. Police stations, actually fire stations are the same way because they'll come 1 minute and then there's nice calm energy going in, and then crazy energy. Yeah, I agree with that. You have a hospital, so it's just like 24 hours a day though. I have a friend that calls the hospital the waiting station, or the hub. I've heard her call it the hub too. Are you going to the hub today? I go, hub? You know, oh yeah, I'm going to the hub today. She said, better come home. Stop it. We're doing good on time. Cool. I'll probably stop this sometime soon. But I am definitely going to probably stop before 11. I see good conversation going on here, and I'm loving it. I'm just trying to catch up with everybody because I was rambling. No, I'm just saying that my grandparents were into just everything, spirit and purpose. We are the respect that most paranormal skeptics are men. Something has to hit them upside the head. I would believe that, Chris. Most of the guys I know, though I do know a few women, quite a few women who look at you and laugh. But yeah, I'd say the majority are men. Do we conjure these things with our mind? If you're talking about the things we see, I don't think so. I think we just get lucky and the veil slips for us a lot more than others. I don't know. Because I know talking to nurses because the nurses will definitely tell you stories that have happened to them. And they're always great stories. When I was having my throat worked on, they put me in this room, 213. And I went in this room, and just like I said, in my room, the towels just started coming out of the thing. And that's what happened in this room. And the nurse walks in, and I go, I didn't do that. She goes, I know. We think it's a male. He does it in room 14 too. We don't know who it is, what he is, but he does it, and I think he does it just to annoy us. You'll leave, and he'll do it again. Are you sure? And he goes, oh yeah. Like every 15 minutes, he bounces back and forth. We're constantly picking up papers. You just happen to get lucky to see it this time. Holy crap. No. I'm trying to think, is there mirrors in hospitals? Yes, there are mirrors in hospital. In the bathroom, in my room that I was in last time, the mirror in that was a full wall mirror. And it is a bathroom, most of them do. Yeah, that was the one thing. You would laugh at night when I knew I was gonna during the night. I would shut my bathroom door. I don't like facing the mirror. I don't like being around the mirror. When in my room here, there's a mirror hanging on the wall before the fire. They broke it, but I'm glad they kind of broke it because I cover it at night. My brothers would laugh at me as a kid. My little brother used to pick on me about it all the time. We used to have a mirror in our room. Before we go to bed, I'd cover that sucker. And he'd always laugh. What's wrong? Are you a big baby? You're afraid of the mirror? I go, no, I'm afraid of what comes out of the mirror. And he'd shut up. Young nurses listened intently when I told her they usually do. They love those experiences because they see it every day, actually. And they always want to hear about somebody else's. No, that explains it both times. I was in the hospital. They brought a porta potty for me to use. If you die in a house. Oh, I know you're supposed to cover them. Mm-hmm. That happens in our family down south. You go down there for a funeral, even though it might be somewhere else, all the mirrors behind the house are still covered. Yeah, I've seen it done too with black cloth. They cover them with black cloth, or our family's covered with black cloth. It's all black cloth. Vixen doe is giving me goosebumps. And Vixen's doe is a very, very intelligent and very wise one. Just like Edna. Latra is pretty smart. Chris is really smart. And the 12 other people in this room are probably highly smart too. And by the way, folks, you 12 people watching, thank you for joining me tonight. I'm sorry I get to rambling, part of the Tourette's. You just kind of got to go with the flow with me. But thank you for joining me. Don't be afraid next time to join in the conversation. Just back and relax. Yeah, my mom's side was way more superstitious than my dad's side. It's pretty wild because they're all from those Appalachian Mountains and stuff. If someone dies in a house, the west wall is broken out and the house is deserted. Where's this at? I didn't catch all that. Wait, I gotta go. Bad. The dead take the good with the. What did Chris say? The hill folk take this seriously. Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. It's just like hanging up empty bottles up in trees to catch the spirits. The Dirty Dozen. A good movie, actually. I love that movie. Not one of my favorites. But yeah, they do. I know they do. I agree with you too. True that, Chris. In my mom's family, talk about superstition. If my dad, both sides had great stories. With my dad's side of the family, it was kind of joked about and kind of played off. With my grandmom's side of the family, they took it very seriously. It'd be like Edna, don't you whistle in those words. If they'd seen some of the stuff that I did, like go chasing after that voice, I'd have probably gotten verbally abused for days. They would say, what are you doing? Don't do that. I also heard they keep nothing of the dead. I lost someone to commercial. Every parish in Louisiana, you'll find thousands of trees with broken. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've seen pictures. I have a cousin down there somewhere. She lived in one of the. Uh, she lived in the area down there, somewhere along Louisiana, around the New Orleans, the parishes, whatever they call it. And I hadn't heard. I heard from her once after Katrina, and she was doing fine. I haven't heard from her since, but they travel a lot too. She's one of the sisters of the people I knew from Japan, my two cousins from Japan. And the other sister, her older sister, she's an interpreter for Honda here in Ohio. She's probably doing a lot more than that. She was making bucks, traveling back and forth here in Japan. Mountain people don't play. No, they don't. Now, I'm sure the generation that I didn't know of or know that well in Dad's family, they're probably a little more serious. Now, I have heard my grandma Davis say, things like, don't do that or don't do this. My grandma Bowen, Greenville, they both tell you don't do that. No. You better do that to compliment that or something like that. Everything to be left behind or destroyed before the house is. That's kind of wild. I've never heard that. You got mighty pretty lips there, boy. Mighty pretty lips. That's just bad, Chris. That's fun. That's a movie I haven't watched in a while. Long time since I visited Japan. Wonder what the experience would be like today. Long trip. The trip would probably cost you more than the stay there. Latro, I'm actually looking into it. Land over there right now is really cheap. They're begging people to come and live there. Prices are still a little better than ours. Actually, there's a guy you might like to watch just to get a feel of it. Look up Japan Explorer. Let me see. Hold on. 1 second. If I can find it right here. There you go. Check this dude out, Latra. He actually does like little tours and walkthroughs through Japan. There's a bunch of them that do it. I like this guy because he really looks, you see it. And he goes all over. But he actually runs tours there. If you go there, you can hire him, his tour company, and he'll tour you around. I love that place. Sometimes I think I honestly believe one of my past lives I lived there. I'm pretty sure at one time I was probably a samurai. I have dreams of not just samurai battles, but other battles with swords. Very violent dreams. Still have. Very intense, very real. They feel very real. I know, Nick. I have a picture of my dad on my shelf here in the room. Then my dad. My mom's stuff in there. And in Japan, they are looking for men to hook up with Japanese girls because the boys, they got a little. They wanted to cut back the population, so they allowed that stuff to happen. Now, the guys are all hooked up with anime chicks, fake anime chicks, and pillows, and machines, and robots. And now the women are left hanging. And they actually want the population to grow. I was in Shinjuku, Tokyo, then Osaka. You have to forgive my pronunciation. It's been a while. Matra. Had upper deck 474 fly over to Mount Fuji. Very memorable. I actually was at the foot base of Mount Fuji. I love Mount Fuji. It's amazing. It's a beautiful place. But been to Shinjuku, been to Osaka. Actually, my cousins, when they lived there, lived outside, just outside Osaka. Non-existent Kanabawa. Yeah, I'd go back to Japan in a minute. I miss it. I was there for a month. It was sad. I wish I did. You're muted now. No, I'm not. I was just talking real soft. That's all. Nice try. Yeah, I was mumbling. You're good. I wasn't being very talkative. I was actually trying to read comments. And I'm sure some of you heard me. Can't be muted. What happened? Am I muted? Better somebody tell me. Am I muted? I don't think I am. Am I? Nope, I'm not. No. Latro's messing with me. I can hear him. He's all right. He's allowed to pick on me. Yeah, I know I am. I don't know if I'm good. I'm an average guy. But yeah, I to be honest, what I saw in that hospital those 3 days was probably the most that of all the times I've been in a hospital. I've been some days in the hospital. And it's all for piddly, fix this, fix that crap. But anyways, I would say from the time I put that mask on to the time I came home, and even a little bit after that, I had never seen so much in my life. I mean, there are days I'd go out and leave here and be in the crowds and not see nothing. I don't know if it's just me not off that day, or I'm just not seeing it, or something with me. Because sometimes I wonder, when I don't see things for a couple of days, I'm just wondering, is it done? Am I done seeing it? And then it never fails the next day. 2 or 3 of them right at once. But yeah, it's not like all the time. But lately, I would say, since I brought it up when I was telling Ed and you folks a while back ago that it was getting really intense, it's still very intense. And the things I'm seeing are more intense. Now, I am seeing good stuff more now, but man, I am seeing a lot of bad stuff. Leaning on people and hanging on people. It makes me worried. Oh no, they remember. They were the ones who said a person is alive as long as they are remembered. Yep, that is true. Had to exit and come back. Okay, yeah, I'm telling you, YouTube's been weird lately. I've had my shares of issues with YouTube's last 3 weeks now. That stream when Gemma came in and yelled at me because while she went to the bathroom or was eating or whatever she was doing, and I was just talking away, and I didn't know I was on mute. My screen, my mic button on my screen said I wasn't muted. And when she came in and started yelling, I'm like, what are you yelling at me for? And then everybody said, you didn't know. And I honestly, I looked down, it was not muted. And I had to click it twice. And then it went mute. Then it came back on. That's when I started talking. I was having all kinds of technical issues that day between something in my connection with StreamYard and YouTube was just been awful. I'm surprised how random seeing things are. They are for me, but I have to admit, since I brought up how crazy it's been and how bad it's been, I'm sure you remember about a couple months ago? It's still pretty intense. I mean, my free day, I call them free days, or still maybe maybe a day and a half. And then I'm back to seeing stuff. And a lot of times it'd be like, I'll go out one day, I'll go out and do some running in the morning because it seems like I'm always out doing something, getting something, doing this, doing that. I'd go out and run in the morning, not see a thing. Go out in the evening, can't see enough. It's everywhere. I don't know. I don't know why it happens that way, but it does. But lately, I will say it still hasn't slowed down. I mean, yeah, I have a couple days, or sometimes I'll go a day or two. I'll tell you what, if it goes longer than a week, I do kind of like, thank you for taking it away. And then never fails. Like, damn it. Pardon my mouth. What time we got here? 10:40. Anybody got anything exciting? And I'll get ready and do the rundown for the schedule. Also, folks, let me do this too, because I want to do this. Now, remember, well, let's do this first. I think it's important. Those who can give, we would appreciate it. This is Gemma's channel. She's nice enough to let me run and have a little fun on here and gab with you folks. So please, if you can donate, that would be awesome. Or if you don't want to donate, get a reading from her. She also has boxes that she creates and all that stuff. They're really cool. The boxes are actually pretty cool. Check out one of her boxes. I think they're about 62. I mean, you can get with her emails in this, but get a reading. Oops, I didn't even do it right. Ding dong. There we go. Oops, I don't need all that. Goodness. I'm looking goofy now. And there's this. And give her a chance, give her a reading. Spooky time. Well, hopefully we'll start getting more spooky time. Now that I'm getting back in the groove of things again. Yeah, things got weird, crazy between being sick and everything. So next Wednesday, we'll start with this week. Tonight was me. Friday, 7:15. As far as I know, we're doing Valentine's night here, 7 to whenever, or 7:15. She tries to start early, but she's been due to situations. Sometimes she has to start at 7:15, but she tries to start early. So if you can show up early, that's awesome. 7:15 Friday night. Would love to have you. Love to see us. She's one of her favorite nights. You guys make her so happy. Then me Saturday night at midnight for Gemma's replays. And then not this Sunday, but on the 23rd, I'm going to go ahead and show the picture again too, I guess. I guess I could be nice like that. Let me get it up here. I just had it too, which is doofus of me. Wait, do I still have it? No, I don't. What's that? I know I'm being right there. Let's shrink it down here. You can see it. That's the one thing you can see everything. She's going to be with Wayne and Michelle on Michigan Sightings and Paranormal Encounters on the 23rd. So check her out then. And then, of course, she has a 11 o'clock a.m. premiere on Monday. This Monday. Premiere chat. So the chat will be open. I should be there. Come join me. She'll let us know what the deal is on that Friday. And then I'll be back here next Wednesday, same time, 9 o'clock. Let's get spookier next time. And I'll maybe give you a little bit more what I was seeing that day, because I was seeing a little bit of everything. I mean, those 3 days was insane. I mean, I literally came home to rest from the hospital. Plus, I'm really like to keep holding this conversation about these. They seem to be cloaked figures that we are seeing, because it looks that black mask one's hard to tell if it's cloak or if it's just the way it looks. And as for the gray ones, it's kind of obvious because they can almost see the detail in the cloak. I don't know about you, Gemma, but you can almost see it because they're whispering. It just looks, you can tell. So we'll talk more about that, and whatever you guys want to talk. We can talk aliens too, so don't be afraid to bring that subject up. Or whatever. It's all about me talking with you guys. You guys help create the topic. I kind of glow with the punches with you guys on these nights. Just like chilling and chat and chill and all those things in the past, the midnight street. Oh, okay. Thanks, Chris. So now we're back to normal again. I think, watch her shorts. She just did her I think end of February, 1-card shorts, or third week of February, 1-card shorts. So go check them out. Leave a like, leave a comment for her. And then her fun shorts. Please go leave a like, say hi to her. In 7 words, as she would say. It does help the algorithm, actually. And please, folks, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. And because I want to get up in the morning. I want to do it. I got a few things I got to do before I go to bed, like always. But I've actually, despite the way I am, I'm actually getting some rest. And I want to be able to walk out of this doctor's office tomorrow with a couple things off my back. So, it should be a good one. It's early. But I want to make sure I'm up and rocking for it. I usually am. I'm just a little slow anymore. Now with the age, I am a little slow in the morning moving. So I hope everybody has a wonderful night. You guys are having a conversation, man. I almost feel bad. There we go. Yeah, that's going to help me. And folks, thank you for showing up. You 12 folks, thank you for being here. It was awesome. Please have a wonderful one. Please join me next Wednesday. Please join us Friday with Gemma. Please watch her shorts. Please hang in with us. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Trey. You too, man. And have a wonderful day tomorrow, please. And wherever your weather's going to be like, hang tough. Make the best of it. Everybody that's been in this chat, thank you so much. Chris, Nicole, Vixen, my dear Anna, dear Vixen, Nicole, all of you. Thank you for holding up, chat. Much love. Yes, I'm getting some healing rest. Well, emotion-wise, I'm healing. I guess you would call it getting healing rest on a sea. So, I don't know. But, yes, I am getting some healing rest. At least I'm sleeping. I may not be sleeping still, but I am sleeping, which is awesome. Maybe these bags will go away. Folks, you have a wonderful one. I'm just gabbing. Because I do have to do it. I don't want to go do it, but I got to do a couple things before I settle and change for the night. Thank you for hanging. You folks have a wonderful one. I will see you Friday night on the flip side of 7. Be well. Have a wonderful day tomorrow. Blah, 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 blah. I love you guys all. Much prayers to you guys too, and especially you. And Cliff, you still here? Oh, you're fine, dude. You're multitasking. You have a great night. I forgot you were even here. You were quiet. Yes, you were. Hope you enjoyed it. Come back. We'll see you Friday if you come in. Everybody have a good night. Be well. And I'll talk to you guys.